Good morning. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Happy Healthy, what is it? Happy Healthy Fit Book Club. My mind just went somewhere else for a quick second. I am so happy to be here. I actually just said a big prayer for everyone who's watching this today, and that everyone who needs to see this will see it, and that the words that are coming out of my mouth are blessed by the divine for those who exactly need to hear what I'm saying today. Because you guys, this is really, really powerful information. And if you really, truly take hold of it, it will change your life if you need it. Last night I read through this chapter. We're actually in chapter 8 today, which is called Digestive Disorders and Problems. And this is not a small problem. This is huge. And I read through it, and you guys, this was some of the problems that I experienced were like a decade ago. And so I forgot about a lot of the problems that I used to have. And man, it just it touched my heart for some of the people who might be going through this, who have never taken this route to heal themselves. And I realized that today's information is just so powerful, and I'm so excited and blessed to be able to share my healing with you so that you can take this on in your own life and heal your own self. It's not just black and white, but today, well, it's not just black and white in terms of eat this and don't eat that, but it really can start there. And sometimes it is deeper than that. It is a part of something that even is healthy for you that you're eating, that you actually need to get rid of for a while so that your body can heal and your gut microbiome can return to a balanced state. So this is not just eat this, don't eat that. It is actually bigger than that, deeper than that. It goes in terms of your gut microbiome, which research and medical scientists are showing that your gut microbiome is just as important as your circulatory system, your heart, and your brain. And it is just as powerful as if one of those two were to stop working. This one is it's right there with it. So really understanding what the foods you're eating are doing to your body is critical, and how they break down into your body and what they do when they break down. And if your small intestine is experiencing inflammation, that causes leaky gut, which causes food particles to get into your bloodstream, which then causes an autoimmune disorder or other problems that you might be experiencing. So, I can't go into everything in this book club or in this video, but today I just want to really tip that first domino for you and allow you to just, assess some of these issues that are possible that can be healed through really honing in on your microbiome, your gut microbiome, and its health. And yesterday, in yesterday's video, I touched upon where you can find the yes/no food list in the back of this book. And then also, when you become a member of my program, we can dive deeper into this for you and with you to help you. But it starts literally with the yes/no food list in the back of this book. And so today, I'm just going to touch upon some problems that you need to shine a flashlight on if you are experiencing them. You really need to stop and listen and take heed of this information today, because it could change your life if you're having any of these issues. It will change your life. Some of these problems that you're experiencing now might go away forever, excuse me, and you'll never have these problems again. And that is a light at the end of the tunnel for some of you to really think about, because some of you might think, oh, I've had this forever, it's always going to be this way, but it doesn't have to be that way, okay? So let's take a look at this. Can you see that? Some of the issues that you might be experiencing if you have any problems with food. So some signs of digestive disorders could be constipation that vacillates even back to diarrhea, constipation, diarrhea, or just one of the two. Gas after meals. You guys, it's actually not normal. Some people think that having gas is a normal thing, and it's totally not. You're really not meant to have gas. And so eating man-made foods that are causing gas, that's a problem. That's actually showing you that that's a problem and that your body doesn't like that food. There are some foods that, like broccoli or even beans, that when your gut is actually healthy, you can actually eat those foods and not experience massive gas. Okay, so let's keep going. Chronic conditions such as asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, or osteoporosis, those are always nutritionally based. You can prevent them. You can also help to fix them by the way that you eat. Any other problem after eating, like acid reflux, that is not normal. And a lot of the time, here's some small ones that you may never even notice because of self-awareness not being in tune in this area. Clearing your throat constantly after you eat something. Start to pay attention to that. Sneezing after you eat certain foods. Being short of breath after you eat certain foods. These were some of the things that happened to me that you'd never think are related to food, but they absolutely were my body reacting to the food that I was eating. I used to get short of breathing when I had certain, I actually know exactly what it was. It was a Marzetti's ranch dip at the veggie tray. I thought, the veggie tray, I thought I was doing a good thing by eating those, but the dip itself was harming me because of the additives and dyes and preservatives that they had in it. They were highly problematic for me. Some other problems that you might have are candida. Candida can come in the form of yeast infections in women and thrush in the mouth of men, or even skin rashes. It's not normal. It means you have an overgrowth of candida in your digestive system, in your gut, and we need to kill off those pathogens and those particles of candida so that you can return to a state of balance in your digestive system. Having undigested food in your stool when you go to the bathroom, number 2, not normal. Unknown or even known food sensitivities, belching after meals, frequent upset stomach, frequent illnesses. Like if you are a person that says, I get bronchitis once a year, you guys, that's not normal. It's not normal. And if you're, let me back up. I didn't even say this in the beginning. Your digestive system holds 80% of your immunity. Your immune system is linked to the health of your gut. So if you get frequent illnesses, it is because your gut microbiome, you're not eating for the health of your gut microbiome. And I talk about that in this chapter. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow and more later on. But I really want you to understand, like, some of these problems. So if you have any of them, let's shine the spotlight on what you need to do. Frequent fatigue, like chronic fatigue syndrome, or being tired all the time. Not normal. Skin rashes, not normal. I'm slouching. I got to sit up. This yoga teacher realizes when she's slouching, she needs to sit up. Even extra weight on the body. You guys, here's some other ones. Acne, acid reflux, cancer, celiac disease, chronic pain anywhere in the body, Graves' disease, gout, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, IBS, IBD, migraines, multiple sclerosis, seizures, Raynaud's disease, infertility, lupus. These are all related and can be, like some of these autoimmune disorders can go into remission when you start to change your diet. So I want to talk to you about the gut. The gut is considered your small intestine, your large intestines, and your colon. Your small intestines is where all of your food particles are broken down. Now, in your small intestines, you actually have the really tight junctures that look like, for lack of better description, they look like the fingers, like they're really tight, and they're actually called these little microvilli, whatever you want to call it. And what happens when your food goes through, these little villi are like eating the food, they're breaking it down. You know, the particles, the enzymes, amylase, lipase, all the enzymes from your stomach acids add into the food that you ate to help break it down. So that heads into the small intestines. Your small intestine starts breaking down the food that you're eating. And then the little villi are like they are their own eating machine. Like they're eating the food you ate to pull it into the body to utilize those macronutrients in the form of fuel. So macronutrients are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Those macronutrients are your energy. They are what fuel your body. You got to have all three of them, and there's only three macronutrients. They break down into micronutrients. So, fats break down into fatty acids, and another, I forget the name of it. Fats break down, what is it? Let's see, where is it? I want to know that so that I can say the word. Where's it at? It's got them in there somewhere. Oh no, it's actually in the next chapter. So fats, where are they? They break down into fat-soluble. They break down fat-soluble vitamins. Where'd it go? I don't know. Why am I not finding this? Okay, well, whatever. I'll figure it out later. So they break down mainly fatty acids, and there's something else, but what the fatty acids do is they transport nutrients in and out of your cells. They transport the mitochondria, your metabolites, which is like metabolism, the energy of your body. They transport those soluble vitamins in and out of the cellular membrane that is made up of, so the cellular membrane is made up of protein. So that is like the architectural frame of the house of the cell. And then carbohydrates break down into like fiber and energy and fructose and glucose. And then that is a form of energy. Fat can also be as well. So anyways, you need the macronutrients. They break down into micronutrients, which gives you the health of your body. Vitamins, minerals, enzymes, fatty acids, protein, amino acids is what protein breaks down into. Carbohydrates break down into energy. So you need all of them, but you need the right ones. Like some people have said, oh, it doesn't matter what you eat. Like it just matters that you hit your macros. No, let's not listen to people who are not educated, because that's totally not true. If you want to have a body made of crap, then eat like that. But if you want to have a body that's built on strong, powerful nutrients and ingredients, then eat healthy. Okay, it absolutely matters what you're eating. So let's talk about so if the small intestine, if you're eating those yucky foods, those inflammatory foods, the things that are bad for you for long periods of times, and even maybe if you have constipation or diarrhea, there's other problems going on. And in your small intestines, you might start to have what's called, I gotta take this off, I'm hot. You might start to have inflammation. And inflammation in those little microvilli are problematic, because what happens when they're inflamed, they spread open. Anything that is inflamed swells, okay? And so like think about a cut on your body. It gets red and it swells up, and you want to protect it. You want to make sure that like bacteria is not getting in there, because that can cause harm in your body. It's the exact same thing happening in your small intestine, and that is what is called leaky gut syndrome. And leaky gut syndrome is really bad. That leads to other major problems in your body. What that means is, I touched upon this yesterday, those little microvilli, they swell up, they inflame, and food particles that are like unbroken, they're not even broken down then, are getting into them. And over here on this side of them is your bloodstream. And so when full particles get into your bloodstream, your body is going to see that as a foreign particle, because it is not something that is recognizable, because it has not been broken down. So what happens is your body starts to build antibodies, and it starts to attack those foreign particles. And when your body is attacking itself, that's where all diseases come from. That's where cancer comes from. That's where any sort of other autoimmune disorders are coming from, because your body is literally fighting what's going on the inside. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to kill off these foreign particles. So an antibody like latches onto it and attacks it, but that's also inside of you. So that's harming you and your own health. For lack of scientific, way of speaking this, that's really like the best way for me to explain it. For just everyday people so that you can really understand what's going on when this is happening if you have leaky gut. So other problems that can happen when you have leaky gut are things like what's called small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. And you heard me say a few minutes ago that you need to eat for the health of your gut. Like, that is a whole nother level of thinking, you guys. Most people don't think like that. Like, do you wake up and think, yes, I need to eat to balance out my gut microbiome today? Probably not. And I'm so glad I read this chapter in my book last night, because I forgot that I even used to tell myself that. But it's so important, because if you're just waking up and just thinking about like the macronutrients, carbs, fat, and proteins, and you're thinking of it purely in a like vanity, like you're thinking about vanity, like let's get bigger or let's get thinner, you're not thinking beyond the image, the actual like full-blown image. There's a deeper way to think about this, and it's about the health of your body. Okay, so in your gut, okay, you have, like I've said, a gut microbiome. So when you eat the foods you eat, they literally go into your digestive system. They create their own community. It becomes its own community. Like, look at them like little soldiers, and they're either soldiers for you, for the health of your body, or they're soldiers against you, like a little Nazi party in there. You gotta eat to create and build new good soldiers, not bad soldiers, not soldiers that are against you. If your gut microbiome is out of balance, like let's say you have candida, which is an overgrowth of candida, a yeast, and that comes from too many sugars or too many FODMAPs, and we can talk about that a little bit here in a minute. And that comes from things like broccoli, things that you might be having too much of. And so therefore, in your gut, you have an overbalance of the unhealthy pathogens and what are they called? Like, I just call it like soldiers. That's what I call them for the microbiome. But they are so many words. Let me see if I can find that one. Okay, so the microbiome, it's bacteria, basically. There's good bacteria, and then there's bad bacteria. They're called, ready for this? This is why I can never remember it. So basically, it's why I call them soldiers. Good bacteria, bad bacteria. Your microbiome, all of the good soldiers or the bad soldiers are made up of bacteria, either good or bad. They're made up of what's called archaea, or archaea, archaea, viruses, eukaryotic microbes, and all of this resides right there in your gut. So this is like way beyond just carbs, protein, and fat, right? All of those break down into micronutrients, which further then break down into further micronutrients. So let's talk about what those are. All right, those are called FODMAPs. Now, before I do that, I want to talk to you briefly about, just to give you a visual of like my healing journey. So I started eating this way in 2012. I was I had problems with constipation, and one of my friends was like, you might want to look into the paleo diet because it's really real food and you eat for the health of your gut. And I was like, I'm totally down. Let's learn this. And I have a nutrition science undergraduate degree, but it didn't go into this depth of science when I was in college. So I started eating the paleo way. But because I have such a sweet tooth and I love this is so crazy, but this is true. When I first went paleo, I was like, this is a legit way of living. If I can still have my pancakes, if I can still make cookies, and if I can still make yummies like that for myself and my son. And because I lived literally off cereal, off sandwiches, and things like chips and crackers like Cheez-Its and Wheat Thins, those were a staple in my life. And I was like, I have to give up basically everything and learn a new way to make my foods, and you guys, that is huge, because where most people go wrong, I've been coaching this for over 20 years now, but this part of it where most people go wrong, it's their habits. When you were a kid, you were shown love by ice cream. Let's go get ice cream as a family, you know, like, so if that's a staple and that's a way you were shown love, you're still going to do that. You're still going to choose that. So until you create a new way, a new food, and you associate, you can still do the same thing, but you just got to change what you're eating. You then have to be the one who makes the healthy ice cream that has good, high quality ingredients for you rather than the other kind. You can still show love in that way. Same thing with like a movie night or something like that. Maybe not, you know, have a bunch of chips around the family with crackers and boxed everything like that. You then make the food that you know is good for you. And these are the recipes that I'm always giving into my figureFIT community. Every single Saturday, I give a week's worth of new recipes that include anything from appetizers to like salads to main dishes to even like if there's a holiday party, like what can you take to the holiday party? I'm always giving things like that. So this is a real thing. And I learned that in my own, you know, self-inquiry is that when I would go to family functions, I would always still want to eat that stuff because they were the staples. So over the years, when I brought new things, I was like, here's why I can't have that thing anymore because it's got, you know, additives in it or dyes or red dye and artificial ingredients. And I can't put that into my body. It causes problems. And I want to be healthy. I choose health. And, you know, when you really talk about it that way, nobody's going to judge you unless they're a jerk. And, you know, like when you're saying, like, I know that the Marzetti's ranch dip has preservatives in it that my body can't have. I get, it's hard for me to breathe. And look, it's not just me. Your body's doing the exact same thing. So we all are dealing with some sort of version of this. And it's really about cleaning up our diet and making sure that we know what is in the foods that we're eating, okay? So what it was for me is it started with just going paleo. So I started making a bunch of paleo treats, but they were all healthy ingredients like honey. But then what happened is I started getting candida because I had an overgrowth of the bad bacteria in my gut, bad candida in my gut because I was eating too much of certain foods. So what I had to do is I had to eliminate those to get rid of the candida, to get rid of the fatigue. I had chronic fatigue syndrome bad. So I had to eliminate those out of my diet completely. I was like, what it looked like for me is I gave up the breads, I gave up the cereals, and I went fully into like apples and berries and very carb heavy, honey in my tea and like just all healthy foods at that point in time. So this is why I say it's not just black and white. I went to all the healthy foods, but I was having too much of the FODMAPs, too much of things that broke down into glucose and fructose and sugars in my body. So what I then realized as I got candida, and so knowing what I knew, I was like, let's dive into what causes candida. And for me, it went deeper. So then I learned about FODMAPs. So I want to teach you about this really quickly, like real quick. Okay, FODMAPs are called FODMAP, fermentable oligosaccharides. That's the O. The D is disaccharides. The M is monosaccharides. And the P is polyols. And what those are absorbed in the small intestines, and they are actually like they're everything breaks down into something. And the FODMAPs are like carbs, and it's different kind of carbs, like it's broccoli, it's even garlic. That's a healthy FODMAP. Cranberries, you know, it's like, so what it means, the FOD, they're fermented, right? Okay, they're fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, mono, and polyols. So mono means one, di means two, and then so what that means is how long it takes those things to break down in your gut. So the longer they stay unbreakdownable, right? If it's a mono, it's going to break down faster. If it's di, it's going to break down slower. So the slower it takes for that to break down gives the bacteria of your gut longer time to eat off of it. I'm going to give you a visual here. Think of a crow eating off a dead animal in the street. The longer it can stay there, the longer it can eat off this thing. You guys, it's the same thing with your body. What you're eating is going in there, and your body, the bacteria of your gut, is its own community feeding off of what you're consuming. So this is why we have to eat for the health of our gut, okay? Now, my book goes into deeper detail in this section called Healthy. It's called Healthy because this is what this entire chapter part of the book is all about. And we can't cover it all today, but I really wanted to touch upon this. This is where I'm ending today. We're looking at, what does your gut really need? It needs proper health. It needs you to eat for the health of your gut. Tomorrow we're going to dive into the figureFIT nutrition plan and how my program, the online figureFIT program, what people always talk about is like the transformations, like the before and after photos, and people think it's workout based, but it's this too. Like this is a huge part of your health and really creating a healthy you. Okay, so we're going to dive into the figureFIT nutrition plan tomorrow. And if you don't yet have this book, you need to grab it. You can grab it on Amazon or Audible. Really, Amazon, you need a hard copy of this book, so that you can get the guides in the back of the book. But if you want coaching and you want the workouts and you want to work with me and you want to just dive into living a healthier lifestyle, then you can sign up for the online figureFIT program at figurefitlife.com. And then what we'll do is you've got these things that are in the back of the book. Obviously, the back of the book is going to be your go-to guide for really like guiding yourself through this. Because unless you hire me as a private coach, there's no way that like you're going to learn all this as fast as you want to. So in the back of the book, there's the figureFIT food guide. And I tell every single member of my program to start eating from this list. Start choosing your foods everywhere, every single day from this list. Now, I go above and beyond on this list for any of you who are experiencing constipation, candida, gas, undigested foods. I literally have starred or given an asterisk or italicized Nightshades and FODMAPs in this food guide. So you know what is a FODMAP in case you are a person who needs to get rid of it from your diet. You can look at this list in an instant and know what to get rid of. Nightshades are inflammatory. Those are in things like tobacco, not black pepper, but cayenne, anything that's spicy, eggplants, and those cause inflammation in your body. So if you have any sort of autoimmune disorder right now or any sort of issues, sicknesses, you need to nix nightshades from your diet. Even tomatoes are a nightshade. So if you've got an inflammation, if you're sick and you're eating tomatoes or ketchup like it's going out of style, sorry, you got to get rid of it for right now. Okay, you guys? So I know that this will serve you greatly, and it is not just as easy as like eat this, don't eat that. It's deeper than that, and I really want you guys to dive in, especially if you have any autoimmune disorders or any of these problems back here. It's time to really hone in on choosing the foods that are good for your gut health. And if you want help, I am always here to help you, and I'm always here to guide you in any way that I can. Now, obviously, this is my business. I'm a busy person. So if you want direct coaching and you want me to dive into your health, your issues, you're going to have to hire me as a private coach, which I don't have a lot of bandwidth for that. I'll just be honest with you. That's why I have an online program, so that we can start to do this slowly and you can ease your way into this lifestyle in a way that works for you and your schedule. Okay. So that's the best way to do this. And that's at figurefitlife.com. All right, you guys. So I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so thankful for all of you that watched today. And I want to also say that I am doing a giveaway, and I'm going to choose a winner on Thursday. And that is for anybody who shares shares this in their own, just hit share when this video is done, or even right now, I think you can, tag some friends, like 3 friends minimum, and you're gonna be entered into a drawing that I'm giving away for free coaching. So we're gonna sit on the phone it's a half an hour for me to do an assessment with you and learn what you're going through, and then I'm gonna direct you, for you specifically, what you can do to end the bad health, to end bad habits, to get to your goal weight, to get healthy, to become more self-aware, more self-loving, whatever it is you're dealing with right now, I want to help you. So in order to enter that giveaway, you do have to share this on your main page, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's your personal profile or what, and tag a minimum of 3 friends who need to see this, and invite them into this book club, and that's it. So share it and tag 3 people, and I will see that, and we are flagged by that, so we see that, and we will enter your name into a drawing. And on Thursday's video, I'm going to choose a minimum of 1 winner, but I really want to do 3, and we're going to dive into your call on Friday. So 1 person this week's for sure going to get a coaching call, but I would like to do 2 more people as well. And so just as, you know, that's it. So just share and invite people into this book series. All right, you guys, so much love to you. I'm so grateful for all of you, and I'm glad that you're here and that we're doing this together. So thanks for being a part of my book club, and I love you all so much. Thanks for being here. Ciao.